What is going on YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and we are back with an early Hot 10 list this week, guys. I've looked through this list. There are really some awesome books which haven't really been on this list for quite some time. I'm really happy to jump into this thing. However, I want to throw a little bit of a disclaimer out there right now. I've been noticing on eBay and some live sales and some IG feeds that some prices of books are starting to come down a little bit. So I want to err on the side of caution when we're picking up a lot of this stuff. Please be under GPA. Please be under fair market value if you are picking up these books. I'm starting to see we're going to get a little bit of a decline here. So if we are still buying books, unless they're major blue chip keys, try to stay under FMV. Try to stay up with the times on the market value for these books, and of course pay attention to these Hot 10 lists. See what these books are selling for. Before we jump into the list, like always, guys, I'm going to ask you, if you are not a current subscriber of the channel, I want you to go ahead and click that subscribe button for me because it does help the channel out. And of course, click that notification bell as well because it lets you know when I post a video. Comment down below. Let me know what you think of these books on this list because there are a lot of good keys on here, guys. If you own any, let me know. If you want to sell any or buy any at these prices, also let me know because I'm always interested in what you guys have to say. With that said, let's jump right in here. At number 10, it is a copy of Batman number 181, the first appearance of Poison Ivy. Now, this is one of my favorite Batman Silver Age keys, and there are a lot of them which I love. The main thing about this book, guys, is that you have to get it with the pinup attached. Don't be buying this book without the pinup because it severely decreases the value. Now, a CGC 7.0 recently sold this week for $1,200, and that, believe it or not, is the third highest sale at this grade of all time. So yes, we did get not a new high sale again this week on this book, but regardless, this book is a book I'd always be buying. It is a major Batman key, definitely worth its weight in what you're going to pay for it. But like I always say, just make sure it's complete and make sure it's under fair market value. But yes, it's a book I'd always be buying no matter what. At number 9 this week is a copy of Submariner number 1, The Origin of... Actually, I'm not sure if it's The Origin. It is the first time Submariner in his own title. That might retell the origin or actually give an origin story. I'm not too sure about that. Either way, this book has been on the list before. It was on the list last week, and this book has been going up ever since we got the confirmation that the Submariner is going to appear in Black Panther 2. I'm not sure if that is just a rumor, and we may not see him. No idea. Either way, the CGC 9.6 recently sold last week for $6,225, up 20% since May of this year. Now, I know this is a super high grade comic right here, and I'm probably not buying this book for $6,000, but if you can get a nice 4.0, 4.5 copy, that's the sweet spot for me. That's the book that I'd be buying. It is a nice Silver Age key, and of course, we can't own the first appearance of the Submariner because it's a Golden Age book, and it's very, very rare. And of course, you have Fantastic Four number 4, which is the first Silver Age Submariner. That's a big key. If you got the money for that, I'd probably go ahead and buy that one. But this, of course, is my third option. There's a lot of people out there who's going to tell you they get that Submariner Iron Man book. That actually predates Submariner 1, but to me, this is a better cover, and to me, it is a better buy than that book. That's just my opinion, guys. So, like I said, yes, I am still a buyer of this book, not at 9.6, but definitely the lower grades. I'd always be adding it to my collection. At number 8 this week is one of my all-time favorite keys. I actually have a giant artwork that was done by a friend of mine on Instagram. It is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 129, the first appearance of Frank Castle and the Punisher. This is one of my all-time favorite covers. A nice Gil Kane, John Romita artwork, absolutely beautiful. The yellow cover with Spider-Man and the Punisher, really, really classic. A CGC 7.0. Recently sold this week for $2,750, and that's $500 more than the 90-day average right now for this book at 7.0. So I will say this, yes, this book is still climbing. It didn't make a new high at a 7.0, but I believe that this is one of the best buys out there right now for a Bronze Age book. You have your Hulk 181, and then next in line is ASM number 129, first appearance of the Punisher. Everybody's saying John Bernthal is going to return to this character. I'm hoping that is the case because I loved his portrayal as the Punisher. And let me tell you, I literally own 3 copies of this book. I've owned like 6 or 7 in the past. I'm down to 3, 2 raw, 1 graded. This is a book I'd always be buying. Punisher is one of my favorite characters out there. Yes, it is still a buy no matter what. As like I said, as long as we get it under fair market value and it's complete, no resto, I'm always adding this book as one of my favorites. At number 7 this week is a copy of Daredevil number 131, the first appearance of Bullseye. Now, we talked about this book a few weeks back. I was a buyer then. Am I a buyer now? You're damn right I am. Still, a CGC 7.0 recently sold this week for $375, up 7% since September of this year. All things Daredevil right now are climbing up the charts, guys. Things are getting really hot really quick. So if you do not own any of these major Daredevil keys, now's the time to pick them up. I know prices are still high, but they will be going even higher once these characters show up in the MCU. I'm always a buyer of this book for a good price, for a good deal. I am sticking to the higher grades though, guys. This book is a 7.0 for $375. I'm picking that up all day long. If I can get 8.0 or higher, that's really where I want to be. So if you could snag it for under FMB, I'm buying it. At number 6 this week is a copy of Astonishing Tales, number 25, the first appearance of Deathlock Luther Manning. Yes, I am a buyer of this book. Let me just say that right now. It is an undervalued key, and you don't see that much right now in this market. A CGC 6.5 recently sold this week for $285, up 28% since September of this year. Yes, like I said, I am a buyer of this book, but I want to stay in the higher grades if I can, guys. 7.0, 7.5 or higher if you could afford it. You don't have to get a 9.6 or 9.8, but we do want a nice high-grade copy of this book. Another beautiful yellow cover. Again, Deathlock is somebody that may come years down the road into the MCU or to his own Disney Plus show. Who knows how he's going to appear, but we have to own this book for when this happens. It is still cheap, definitely worth buying. At number 5 this week is a book I've been harping on for about the better part of 2 years. It is Amazing Spider-Man number 50, the first appearance of the Kingpin. All signs are pointing to the Kingpin showing up in the Hawkeye series. From the rumor that we hear, we're going to get him in the next episode. We're going to find out something big in this next episode. If you do not own this book right now, now's the time before next week. A CGC 6.5 recently sold last week for $2,675, up 18% since August. I am glad that I own 4 copies of this book, guys. I actually picked up a nice low-grade raw copy at one of my LCSs a few months back. If you guys haven't checked out that video, probably go a couple months back in my playlist. It is a doozy, the price I got it for, guys. Regardless, yes, I am always a buyer of this book. Kingpin is, again, one of my favorite Spider-Man characters, and he's a Daredevil character as well. So you get the bang for your buck with two, a villain for 2 heroes. So again, classic cover. I've said it a million times. This book is trifecta. Classic storyline, Spider-Man No Way Home. Classic cover by John Romita. And of course, the first appearance of the Kingpin, a book I'd always be buying. But get it before he shows up. At number 4 this week is a copy of Spider-Man 2099, number 1, the reprint. Now, this variant white cover was actually inside a toy, the classic animated series action figure. Not too familiar with this book. I'm gonna let you know right now, but a CGC 9.4 recently sold last week for $480, up 20% since September. I know there are a lot of variant collectors out there, guys who collect really rare books. I am not that guy, so I cannot say to go out there and spend $500 on a 9.4 copy. I think that's a little ridiculous. That's just my opinion. But if you want to buy it, be my guest. I am not a buyer of these variant newer books, so heed my advice, guys. There's a lot more other things you could spend $500 on in the comics industry. You can still get a nice Silver Age minor key for $500 right now. So that's what I be putting my money towards. At number 3 this week is what was number 1 last week, Destroyer Duck number 1, the first appearance of Destroyer Duck, but more importantly, the first appearance of Gru. Now, I told you guys last week I didn't know who Gru was. Did some research. Is going to come to either a film or a TV show in the near future. And the CGC 9.0 recently sold last week for $180, up 80% since November last month. I told you guys last week that I was a buyer of this book under $100 at a 9.0 for almost $200. I am staying away. Yes, if you can get a nice clean copy for under $100, I'm a buyer. Hold on to it. You never know what's going to happen for under $100. I'm always willing to take a chance. When you get to the $200 range, guys, I'm a little bit more picky with what I want to buy. So that's just me. If you guys want to spend the money on this book, I'm not sure how popular Gru or even Destroyer Duck's going to be. To me, it's kind of like you may get a little bit of a pop, but it's probably going to go right back down. So again, if you want to heed my advice on this one, it's up to you. At number 2 this week is a copy of Tales of Suspense, number 94, the first appearance of Modoc. Sorry, I got a little tongue-tied there. Now, there is a rumor out there that Modoc is going to be one of the villains in the Ant-Man Quantumania movie. We have no confirmation of that yet. This book was spiking a little bit before, and we got some kind of news that he was going to appear in a different movie. Again, we're kind of getting it now. I have no idea if that's going to come true, but either way, a CGC 5.0 recently sold this week for $375, up 15% since November. Now, I know Tales of Suspense keys don't really get a lot of love, and this one starting to pop before and now again. I am not a buyer of this book here right now. I don't know if Modoc's going to show up, and even if he does, look what happened to the Mandarin. The Mandarin book really popped when we found out that he was going to appear in the Shang-Chi movie, and all of a sudden it just tanked again. I think that's going to happen again to this book. I'm all for you guys picking it up. If you want to add it to the collection, it is a nice Silver Age key. I'm always prefer Silver Age books, but I'm not spending $400 on a 5.0 just because he's coming to the Ant-Man Quantumania movie. I don't know what kind of future he's going to have in the MCU. I think you're going to get a pop and you're going to get a drop. That's just my opinion. So to me, I'm not adding this. I also am not crazy about some of these Tales of Suspense covers. A lot of times we buy books because of the artwork, because if the covers are classic. To me, this is not one of those things. A lot of Tales of Suspense leaves something wanting with these covers. So I'm staying away for a couple of reasons right now. I don't think it's worth it to spend that money on this book. And rounding out the top spot this week is a book that I despise being on this list. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It is a copy of Fantastic Four Annual #1, the first appearance of Krang, The Origin of the FF Retold, and it's when the Submariner finds Atlantis. We've talked about this book literally for 3 months. It's been on this list, and I can't figure out why all of a sudden now it's #1 again. You guys let me know why. I just don't get it. Regardless, a CGC 3.5 recently sold this week for $550, up 29% since October. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. I am not buying this book for $550. I believe I reported last week that a 2.5 sold for like $350. To me, it's way too much money to spend on an origin retold, first appearance of a character I've never heard of. Pretty cool that Submariner finds Atlantis. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it is a cool story, but it is a lot of money to spend on really just a minor key. It is a Silver Age book. It's an annual #1. To me, I just don't see the value in spending that much money on this book. It's just me, guys. This is the way I collect. At least it's Silver Age. I give you guys that. But to me, I'm staying away at these prices. So that's it for the Hot 10. I'm glad I got it to you guys early this week. Hopefully beat some of the other guys who do top 10 lists. Let me know what you think of these books. Are you still buying any of them, especially the big Marvel keys? I know they're a lot of money, but as they trickle down, are we buyers or are we kind of selling the stuff we have on the side? I am actually selling a few books right now only because I think it's prudent, but I'm also adding a few big ones because of what I'm selling. So regardless, this is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.